What's up, guys? How's everyone doing? Welcome back to the Metal Motors 92i8 channel, but please call me Metal. Today, we are looking at a case my good friend Juan Scoville, shout out to him by the way, sent me to react on the channel, which happens to involve his grandmother, which is why he sent me the video. One thing to point out is that my homie was a former 2022 Phoenix City Council District 6 candidate. Anyways, what happened here is that in Arizona, my friend and his grandmother's home state was experiencing extreme heat, and the grandmother, alongside several hundred neighbors or something of hers, faced power outages during this heat wave. Let me show you a clip of the news report of what went down.
Scoville spent the morning sitting around her Phoenix apartment, sweating it out.
It just started heating up pretty quick. It didn't take long. It was real uncomfortable.
Scoville had her power shut off by SRP around 7:30, along with several hundred neighbors who live near 36th Street and Osborne Road. This email was sent out last week informing them of the temporary power outage to maintain underground electrical equipment. But the 65-year-old retiree was convinced there was more to it, and she was right. Scoville came out to see the work SRP was doing Monday and noticed it was all taking place in front of the new condos being built across the street. The power outage is directly related to the construction project. Neighbors want to know why the maintenance work and power outage weren't delayed until we're no longer experiencing such extreme heat.
Okay, to sum up what's going on here, SRP decided to start construction of condos knowing it would cause outages like this during a heat wave. I don't know about you, but it seems like a case of government since SRP is a state-owned enterprise, which Investopedia.com defines it this way: a legal entity created by a government in order to partake in commercial activities on the government's behalf, only listening to whatever agenda they have and not actually asking the residents/citizens their thoughts on it. Unfortunately, this has become common where local governments will put money into what they want to do without caring what the residents think at all. I definitely can't say my city isn't like that. Actually, if I'm being correct, it's pretty clear at this point that the US government as a whole cares more about their own wealth and agenda than the citizens actually suffering the problems of their agenda. It's just maddening how the government is more worried about the friggin' guy selling street tacos than they are of their own citizens burning up during extreme heat. Absolutely no wonder more and more people are losing faith in the government.
Definitely, they could have waited till this heat wave was over. I don't see any emergency. They don't even look moving and ready yet, and if nobody's living there, what the heck? Why leave us hanging out here in the heat?
Common Scoville W! Juan, you wanted me to say that in the comment sections of this video, but I'm saying it on microphone instead. How's that? But here's the thing, even if you didn't tell me to say that, I'd still agree 100%. Like, why in the hell are they working on the power for buildings that aren't even move-in ready? Especially when it'll cause an outage during a heat wave. Like Grandma Scoville said, there is no emergency, nor is there any good apparent reason for letting people suffer during extreme heat and not waiting until the heat wave is over. And by the way, Juan, if I lived in Arizona and you were running, I would vote for you. I may not agree with you on everything and we may have different political alignments, but the fact that we seem to agree more than we disagree alone earns you my vote. And more importantly, it's also because I respect you as a person.
Arizona's family reached out to SRP to ask if the extreme heat was taken into consideration in planning the power outage. We received this statement. This power outage was required as part of safety clearance guidelines in building construction. SRP customers on the impacted power circuit were informed on July 11th of the upcoming planned outage on July 17th to allow customers to make accommodations as necessary for the estimated time frame their residences would be without power.
But you guys didn't friggin' ask if the people were okay with that. That's the issue here. You guys just went along without the people involved, meaning the residents of this block's opinion of whether they were okay with that or not. Also, this seems like poor timing all around. Like, why on earth would you work on power for homes that aren't even move-in ready and cause outages for the residents during a heat wave, in the process make basically making them unable to use their AC. Really makes no sense at all whatsoever, but that's the government. They make decisions without your permission, even when they make no sense, and if you question it, you're the terrorist. Like, just shut up, bro.
The power outage lasted close to 4.5 hours, according to a notice sent out by SRP. Scoville thinks it would have been nice if the neighbors impacted were taken into consideration. They say they gave you notice. Does that matter?
No, it didn't make it any cooler.
I mean, yeah, she's not wrong. I mean, the notification didn't make the weather cooler, and even with SRP making the notification, they still didn't take the residents into consideration. Like I said, they didn't ask the residents if they were okay with it or anything that would allow the people to give their opinions on this. But hey, you guys are government owned, so why would you? Pretty common amongst you G-men to just not care about anyone or anything about money and power.
SRP officials insist they did their best to keep the power outage as brief as possible. But one resident said they weren't the ones sitting in their apartment without AC.
Exactly. Those friggin' officials aren't going to give a rat's ass as long as they have their AC and whatever else luxury goodies they have. I mean, that's the thing. These people will insist on things like they were trying to make the outage as short as possible to try to justify not taking the residents into consideration. All in all, Grandma Scoville was absolutely correct. They could have waited until those buildings were ready and when the heat wave was over. So once again, comment Scoville W. Comment that down below if you made it this far into the video and you'll get a free heart. So once again, comment Scoville W if you made it this far into the video and you'll get a free heart. So overall, I think this is just another example of how the government just disregards the citizens and only goes with what their agenda is. Whatever that may be, I don't know. They're so cryptic about it, which is kind of scary, but I'm not going to get into why and how it is so in this video, alright? But what you can get from this video is how the government treats you, same from some of my other videos. Now there's probably going to be some jokers who tell me that, well actually, it was a corporation called SRP doing this whole thing. Like, bruh. Clearly didn't listen to the beginning of the video where I said that SRP is a state-owned enterprise, meaning that it is government-owned, so therefore the government, the Arizona or Phoenix local government to be exact, is responsible for this nonsense. That's about it for this video. Once again, shout out to my homie Juan Scoville. You might agree or disagree with the points I made, but either way, it's cool. We are still boys as long as we still respect each other. Be sure to like and subscribe. Also, check out my Instagram to send me stories through DMs and my Patreon to support me further as a creator and get a few perks that allow you to have a voice on the channel. Links for those are both on my channel page since YouTube won't allow me to have links in the description until I have a number of subscribers, so you all know what to do. Peace out. Have a wonderful day, everyone.